Hello everyone, I am Minion Michelle Vampire, or aka Vampire Minion Michelle. That's probably the best way I'm going to go about with this name, because I'm usually not associated as that, because I come in many shapes and forms. But without further ado, for this episode, I am going to be discussing the literary classic Dracula by Bram Stoker. Now, the interesting thing about this book in particular is that usually people don't talk about the book. Usually people like to discuss the various adaptations that have come from the book and the various things that revolve around Dracula, but not necessarily in the context of this book, although I will admit some of the adaptations do follow the book relatively closely. But without further ado, let me discuss a little bit of what the original work was trying to say. So, for the most part, it follows the sort of mystery genre, because instead of it being more about horror, like a lot of the other Dracula adaptations that we've seen over the years, the novel mainly focuses on being a mystery / murder story. It's not really designed to be based around the concept of horror. Although horror plays an essential role here, it's not the primary focus. Unlike a lot of other adaptations, like you will see this heavily emphasized in the Francis Ford Coppola adaptation, where there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of sensuality, there's a lot of gore involved. But with this book, it's relatively tame, because the main, the scary aspects that this book offers are basically through the genre of mystery and not of horror and gore. So basically, the book follows one of the protagonists. I wouldn't say he's really the main protagonist, but he is one of the main protagonists, Jonathan Harker, who is a newly qualified English solicitor, and he basically visits the Count Dracula in the Carpathian Mountains, which are surrounded in Transylvania, or around that area, to provide legal support for a real estate transaction that the Count wants to be a part of. Now, this is where we get the main parts of the story that have been, I think, incorporated in a lot of the adaptations, and that is how Jonathan Harker ultimately gets captured by Dracula, and is seen from becoming a guest to a prisoner. And then you will see how he escapes, and then the book completely shifts focus to Dracula basically coming and trying to get some new prey, and this new prey includes Wilhelmina Mina, or aka Mina Murray, and her friend Lucy Westeria, or something like to that effect. I apologize. I'm horrible at pronouncing names. But basically, once Lucy becomes ill as a result of Dracula, this is where we get really the person that ends up being really the ultimate, probably main protagonist through the rest of the story, and that is Abraham Van Helsing. And so he comes in and basically tries to save Lucy, and while at the same time trying to unravel the mystery surrounding Dracula. And that's really where the plot stands in regards to what the book tries to establish. So that's really at the heart of the story, and I don't want to give anything else away as to what happens in regards to the plot after this, because that would be spoiling the what we would call twists and turns that occur in this book. But for the most part, this book is designed to be a mystery-oriented story with a little bit of violence here and there, but I would say that a lot of the adaptations have really, really glorified the idea of the gore and the sensuality and the and the and all of the things that we usually associate with Dracula are kind of more shrouded in mystery within Bram Stoker's work. It's not designed to be so much around horror, but around solving the mystery and kind of bringing in a sense of justice, because you will see that there's a lot of injustice that Dracula does, and hence there's a lot of revenge that goes along with that. So it really focuses on being that kind of a story. It's not designed to be like a lot of the other adaptations that we've seen of Dracula and of Dracula as a figure, because again, although Dracula is at his essence violent and a blood-sucking monster, the main plot and focus is on how to not only ultimately defeat him, but figure out the mystery that surrounds the horrible things that he did to people. So that's really at the heart of the original work. But ultimately, I think that's really all I can say when it comes to the original source material. It's pretty straightforward for a mystery-oriented story. It knows how to give the characters a sense of depth. Although I will say that some characters, I think, are given a little bit more characterizations than others. And some characters you may like or dislike depending. But they do emphasize the certain personalities that they have. And you'll see how some of them play a big role within the story. So again, even though the focus is on Van Helsing as being sort of the leader, all of the other people that are involved that are a part of Lucy's life, as you will see in the story, also contribute. So it's really designed to be this kind of team up and kill the bad guy, which is Dracula, and be that kind of story, as opposed to focusing on Dracula's ability to seduce people and suck their blood and basically make them one of his own, which is there in the story, but again, it's not really the main focus, unlike a lot of other adaptations that have chosen to focus on that aspect. But I think, though, that's really ultimately all I can say. If there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I hope you all have a pleasant month on this Halloween month, and I hope that you stick around for the other videos that'll be coming. But thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully I get to come back. I'm not sure. I don't know what Evil Twin Michelle has in store for me, but we'll see what happens. But until next time, everybody, bye-bye.